Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Welcome to the dungeon, Bachio. How are you?
Oh, well, thanks, mate.
That's
Appreciate
cool.
having me on today.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've been looking forward to getting you in the dungeon, and given the amount of people that know who you are in LMCA, I think this could be a great laugh. But hopefully it'll help people who are starting business and people who are running business to think about what they're doing too.
Definitely.
So let's start with the basics, because people know who you are, but they don't really know who you are. So full name?
Full name, Bachio, no.
Okay, yeah. So I'm guessing Asian background.
Indeed.
You sound very Australian though. So have you ever?
Quarter Chinese, 3/4 Vietnamese.
Okay, yeah, Vietnamese sort of hits the spot with the naming, I think.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I did grow up in Sydney.
Yep, fair enough. So you're as Australian as me.
Mixture of demographics.
Yes. Yeah, awesome. And I heard a little whisper that you turned 21 last week.
I did indeed, yes.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's a big milestone.
I was going to say congratulations, but that's not the right word. But congratulations on still being in business with a few bench shaft whipper snippers at this early stage. So I want to know, because I've seen you around for probably the last year or so, but how long have you been running your business? Hello.
I've been running about 3.5 years to this day.
Okay, so you've been running since you finished school then?
Pretty much, yes. Kicked it off right at the end of year 12.
Yeah.
I got fired from Coles for being too big a cowboy.
You can't bend whippersnippers in Coles. What were you up to?
Pallet jacks. That was my forte. Too many accidents with them.
Oh, that's classic. I've done a factory job years and years ago, and people would jump on the forks of the pallet jack and screaming through the factory floor with the pallet jack.
Yes. Well, you need a license at Coles to use either a manual jack or an electric jack.
Yeah.
And it's tough pushing a cage by yourself, so you hop on the jack once in a while. Busted a couple crates of milk.
Whoops. So, yeah, that's keeping in form with everything we know about you.
Height-wise as well, might I add. Stacked crates of milk simply way too high. Height
Whoops.
clearance shoes.
So they weren't caught on power lines, obviously. They're just in Coles.
Just inside, yes.
No car parks, no power lines, nothing crazy.
Well, I think the first accident had 85 busted 2-litre Coles milk bottles.
Wow.
And
That's
there's milk
impressive.
up about 8 feet high on the fridges. Just the corner of the shop floor cordoned off.
Yeah, so you would have been transporting from the bulk fridge out to the shelves for the customers, I'm guessing.
Yes, indeed.
Loading shelves and didn't get to the shelf.
Lucky no customers got caught in the mayhem.
Yeah. So they weren't very impressed with that one.
No. Repeated 2 more times.
Yeah, I can see why they might have said see you later.
Live and you learn.
Yeah. So you left there, and did you look at multiple options, or did you just go, no, cutting grass is going to be easy?
I've always had a fascination with old tools. Had 35 Victor 2-stroke mowers at one point.
That's an obsession.
Lining the driveway, just rusty pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's not a fascination. That's an obsession, that one.
Yes, I suppose. There's a couple other things as well. But I looked around. I need some cash. So I borrowed Dad's station wagon, and off we went with the Victor Mullers.
Let me guess, it was a BA Falcon wagon.
It was a Honda Odyssey. Yes.
Yeah. So did you sell all of those two-stroke Victors to Jared Summers?
He's got quite a collection.
He does.
Yes, I'll have most of the mowers still. I'll work with them eventually.
Are you restoring them?
I am indeed, yes. Yeah. Rattle cans from Super Cheap with clear coat.
Okay, so a nice deep green and then a clear coat over the top?
Yes. Until you start the machine and all the clear coat peels off from the heat.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, so I'm guessing some of them are usable and startable.
Yes, my favourite is a 1974 Victor Mustang. It's got a aerodynamic cowling on it.
Yeah.
When you get up to 88 miles an hour.
Very aerodynamic for doing high speed. That's just about fast enough to hit Back to the Future.
Indeed. Gee. Oh, there's a poster up there.
It's just out of view.
Yes.
Now, notice your flashing light sitting in the background.
That's my favourite prop.
People need to watch this on YouTube.
They do. It's absolutely fantastic. Part of the obsession at the start was with lights as well, which...
Yeah.
Safety.
I'm Gary Ashton, and I'm here to help business owners succeed and enjoy being in business. Does running your business feel chaotic? Maybe you started it for freedom, to live the life you wanted, but now you're stuck in the grind, overwhelmed and exhausted. The stress doesn't stop. You work harder, but nothing really changes. Get real support at Think Tank Coaching. Get crystal clear on future goals, your ideal customers, and the numbers to focus on that will move your business forward. If you're ready to make a change, let's talk. Book your free strategy session now at thinktankcoaching.com.au. So, when you first started, you stole your dad's station wagon. Borrowed your dad's station wagon. And you wouldn't have bent any Whipper Snippers if they were all in the back of the Honda Odyssey.
Yeah, debatable. Got mowers rolling around on the back parcel shelf.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to tie them down or anything, would you?
It was a fantastically compact setup. You could stack about 5-6 green waste bags on the passenger seats.
What did your dad say about that when he used the car?
Oh, I did have to clear everything out by the end of the day, and it was a tough juggle between... We only had one car in the family, and me to borrow the car over the weekends. Yeah. I did move on pretty fast.
Yeah, so you end up buying a Falcon instead.
Explored several options. Falcons. And Falcons. And an AU Falcon, which was a brilliant machine. Still have it. And
yeah, AU's getting old.
Pretty much the cheapest Falcon on Bookface.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm just thinking that, like a BA Falcon's a bit of a step up from the AU.
Yes, it is. I've never used... I've only just got a BA. It's an XR6 sedan. Immaculate. Nice. Immaculate paint. But the fascination with the AU pretty much stays. The logo for Falcon Landscapes made from AU taillights.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Just a nice droopy ass.
Beautiful. So that's where your logo comes from the shape of the Falcon tail lights.
That's right, yeah. The font is from Top Gun.
Ah. So everything you do is quite intentional then.
It's a fantastic way of putting it.
What was I going to ask you? You put me off. I was going to ask. So, yeah, that's what I want to know. So, I know you're in Sydney, but what suburbs in Sydney? Well, whereabouts do you live? I'm not asking for your street address and number, but where do you live? Where do you work? How far do you travel?
About 35 k's southwest of Sydney in Fairfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I still consider that Sydney, but so southern Sydney, southwest. And do you have a nice tight route, or you travel a fair bit for work?
It's taken a bit of work to get it as tight as we have, but it's still a large area. We travel about 25 k's diameter all across from Abbotsbury, it's West Sydney, and all the way to Bachio, Regent's Park.
Yeah, okay. You do cover a fair bit of ground then. And if you're in those areas, in, say, Regent Park, you want to be in and out of there before the school traffic goes, because otherwise your peak hour traffic is going to make it so hard for you to work in those areas.
That's a good thought. I'll implement that.
You need, shameless plug, you need to look at Sortscape to get your route density in the right place so that you can get all those things as efficient as possible.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Perhaps I'll grab a prop. 1 second.
Yeah. Have you thought about using a customer service app to manage your clients, your scheduling, your invoicing? If you haven't thought about this yet and you've got more than 5 customers, it's time you did. It will improve your efficiency in scheduling. It will improve your efficiency in invoicing. It will improve your efficiency if you have employees that are out doing the jobs for you. Visit sortscape.com/Aussie Lawn Stars to join up now.
It's the wrong city, but this is what I use to get around with.
So no GPS for you. It's a good old paper map.
Absolutely not. No LED lights. No GPS.
No LED lights. You've got a good old rotating strobe.
Only halogens.
Halogens. No
Very
LEDs.
quick.
Awesome. So once you implement Sortscape, you'll be able to make so much more money.
Yes, I have heard heaps of fancy apps, fancy software, invoicing apps, or plan routing maps.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I've talked to ServiceMate and Sortscape, but I've also looked into Jobber and a few other of those apps that are good for helping you to get organised. And they vary so much in mileage. So some of them help you work your map out. Others just help you organise your customers in lists. Most of them will cover some form of invoicing and diary calendar entry events so that you can go, all right, these are the jobs I'm doing for the day. Once I've done a job, I can send an invoice out and then on to the next job. But they get fancy and some of them are less fancy. You can have them so they automatically GPS track every move that you make or your employees make, so you can keep a really close eye on your employees and give you good reporting so you can look at how efficient the run is for the day, all those sorts of things. Others less detailed but easier to use.
Yeah, right. Well,
anyway. You're thinking, I need to do this now.
Yes. Yeah, it's a plethora of fancy software. I struggle to get my head around.
Yeah. So when you started, you got the Honda Odyssey, but you moved pretty quickly into the AU Falcon.
Yes.
How long did it take you before you sort of filled your day up and you're like, all right, I'm busy 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, flat out, and need to put on an employee?
Very quickly. Didn't do much advertising when I started. It was mainly flyers that I printed off in A4 sheets.
Okay, so you'd hand out flyers in the suburb you wanted to get work?
Yes, that's right. It was fantastic to target specific streets and whatnot. But it got it got old pretty quick, just having relentless drop-offs and getting a couple calls.
It seems that way, doesn't it? I've talked to people that do this. Now, you'll know the name Casey Devine.
Yeah.
He's really big on doing that, but I'm pretty sure you'll find he pays somebody else to hand the flyers out. So if he's doing a lawn in a street, he might go and hand out flyers up and down the same street while he's there. But if he wants to target a particular suburb, he'll just go, all right, let's print out 1,000 flyers or however many flyers, might be 20,000 flyers, I don't know, and then pay somebody that does like your Coles letter drops or whatever else it might be, JB Hi-Fi letter drops, all those sorts of things.
Yeah,
pay
right.
one of those guys to drop his brochures off, his flyers, at the same time and target a particular suburb or a particular new subdivision in a suburb even.
Gotcha.
So that could be a new way of improving your flyer
That
drops.
is. Yes.
Take the pain out of it.
He did trial Negotiator magazine. I can't remember if it's across Australia or not, but it's a small little booklet that gets posted by Australia Post.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we tried that. It was heaps of publicity, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But then again, not many people take the time to flip through a small booklet that gets delivered every 3 months.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? I've had relentless marketers asking me to join up the police union magazine or the firefighters union magazine, and it's like when they call, I'm like, your magazine doesn't exist. Go away.
Yeah, absolute rot.
Yeah, some of them are completely false and nothing to them. They're just taking your money. But even the ones that do exist, it's still like, yeah, are you actually getting somebody that will open that magazine, flick through it and go, oh, there's Falcon Landscaping, let's call him up and ask for a job.
Yeah, I was, strong word, but I was sucked into the SES magazine.
Yeah, that's another one of those, isn't it?
And they do a brilliant job of selling the booklet. You have proper Australian accents on the phone.
Yeah, so it sounds like somebody local. You think they're legit.
Yes, and they build excellent rapport with you until payment time comes.
Yeah, and then they get nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you filled your schedule up pretty quickly then.
Yes, we did.
And that means you didn't want to be chasing flyers and marketing and trying to pick up extra work.
It does it is extremely seasonal.
Yes.
And it's different every state, every different state you're in.
Yeah. So what time of year did you start?
We started right at the peak, so January, and
yep. So you get about 3 or 4 months of peak work, and then it backs off, and you got to start chasing cleanup jobs, pressure cleaning jobs. What sort of winter jobs would you be chasing?
Pressure cleaning's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, rubbish removal, that piques my hoarding tendencies.
Yep. A few more Victor 2-strokes.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so that'd get you through winter, but as long as you've got a good customer base already, then a lot of that work just comes in naturally, right?
That's right. Word of mouth is a fantastic thing, and you don't need to put in work into it. Just simply build a relationship with your clients. They spread the word.
Okay, so here's a tricky question for you. When you first started up, did you think about how much you needed to charge for a job or per hour, or did you find a balance pretty quickly of going, yeah, I'm happy with what I'm charging?
I first relied on Coles wages as a guide. So yeah. I thought to myself, look, if I'm making 13 cash an hour, that's solid. You quickly realise there's other expenses that deduct from that number.
Yeah.
You know, all your expenses. And as much of a hard time that Dan Carl gets from Jim's Mowing, he was the one that had the videos on YouTube. He's the one that sparked the flame for my business, at least. And gave solid information on what to charge, the confidence you need to bring to the client, the professionalism you need to display.
Yeah. That's cool. I've interviewed Dan Carhill, and I like what he's got to say. He's not everyone likes him, but yeah, he certainly has helped a lot of people, and particularly now he's a franchisor for gyms and doing really well there. Yeah, there's a huge amount of people it's helped. So you listened to what he had to say on pricing and went up from $13 an hour.
I did indeed. No, not immediately. It was a struggle, even pushing 40 cash an hour at the start.
Yeah.
And you do have to work on it. It takes confidence. It takes heaps of determination to go to your clients. Look, this is what I'm charging.
Yep.
This is what I need to make in order to stay profitable.
I've had conversations like that, and different rates, of course. But when I first told a customer I was putting their price up by a significant amount, and I've lost one of my good customers that I considered a friend. They're like, "See you later," and it's like, okay, know where their loyalty is. It's the moment I put their price up, and this is going back almost 15 years. That was 15 years ago I started. It would have probably been 14 years ago I actually went, I'm not making money when I'm there for an hour and a half and I'm charging $40. So I said to them very timidly, I'm going to have to put your price up to $50. It's not making much money. It's just covering my costs between getting $50 and at $40, it's not worthwhile. They dropped me quicker than I could blink.
It's very tough when a client's been with you for so long. Yeah, you have to. I struggle. I've got clients still on $15 a job.
Yeah, well,
look, it's so close, and there's a Telstra payphone at the front, which I love. I still service their property.
Yep, fair enough. I'm probably hung on to customers for sentimental value or because the relationship was good as well. And I know when I first started, I had a couple of jobs that were about $25 each. Yeah. 2 jobs beside each other. So I'd pull up there. I was there for half an hour, both jobs done in half an hour. So it worked out $50 for half an hour work. But I knew that I wouldn't take on another $25 job no matter what. And so when I eventually moved on from those customers and set my minimum at $50 for about a half hour's work, I was like, okay, that's moving forward.
It is.
Even though those 2 jobs took me half hour to do for both jobs, and it was $50 for an hour, half an hour, I mean.
And from time to time, you get the lovely client who you're charging $25 for, and they go to their mates, he'll do your lawn. It's just 25. So it's tough. You really have to be truthful with existing clients. I'm charging you this much because I value you.
Yes.
But I can't continue doing this for referrals you put towards me.
A lot of clients, when you do that, because the relationship is solid, they will pay you more because they know that what they're paying you is not actually covering it. I don't know how you found that, but I've found people were like that. People were like, oh, I'm going to increase how much I'm paying you before I even asked for it because I was too timid to ask for it. But that's an interesting one. So in terms of quality of work, like we've sort of built this picture, people listening, we're going, oh yeah, Bachio's definitely confirmed he's a cowboy.
No doubt.
But what's your quality of work look like? Like compared to other people in your area? Sharp edges, beautiful lawns when they're finished, gardening work looks immaculate, or are you competing with the slash and dash crew, like just cut the grass, drop it in big piles and clumps and run?
As I hate to say it, as much as I despise boasting, we have the best quality of work in the Fairfield LGA. And and clients admire that. The public admires that, and that's what gets you the niche type of client that your business wants. Not client.
So that propels you to be able to charge decent rates, going from your $13 an hour clients.
From all the other contractors out there, which are doing a fantastic job, but not to the quality that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, look, I think it's worth mentioning a little bit about pricing here, and you tell me as much as you want or as little as you want. I'll make some suggestions. Right. So you know in the back of your mind, yeah, I can do a job for $13, or I can do a $40 an hour quote, but I'm not really where I want to be with that. And doing the best quality work in your suburb, you can probably hit upwards of $150 an hour on some jobs if you really push the limits.
Yes, that's right. We, for a solid 12 months now, we've worked our existing clients up to what I would consider my standard rate, which is about 100 per man hour.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
You've got two workers on, you do the maths, and
Yep.
It's working okay.
Yeah.
From time to time, you get freak Whipper Snipper accidents or wet weather, this sort of thing. So it's a tough spot at the moment. So I am revising our rates and whatnot.
Now, when you say freak whippersnapper accidents, just to clarify, I have broken a couple of windows.
Yes.
And I have been to whippersnapper.
Oh.
Don't tell everyone. It happens to the best of us. So you and I are in good company.
Yes. I reckon I had a fantastic method of transporting whippies at one point.
Yeah.
1 60-litre willow plastic bucket could store 3 whippersnippers stacked on top of each other, which would come to about 2.4 metres high.
Yeah.
And I found that number after bent to.
So do you say 2.4 metres tall?
That's right. Yes.
So that's from ground to the top of the whippersnapper.
Yes.
And I'm guessing Fairfield Shopping Centre car park is 2.2, not 2.4.
Only 2.1. Okay, you'd wind the window down, you turn the music off, you'd listen out for any creaks or
crunches.
Yeah, but you can't hear anything. I'm a bit hard of hearing. And eventually I would drive up all the levels. Oh no. 2 whippies event.
Whoops.
No, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah. Now I haven't stored whippersnippers vertically like that. But my first trailer, the person I bought my business from had the trailer set up and I bought the trailer off him, and he didn't have a willow bucket in the corner. He had a PVC pipe. So, the 90mm PVC pipe. It might have been 150mm, but I think it was 90mm PVC pipe.
Yes.
Zip tied to the corner of the trailer.
Hey? Right.
And that's where all the hand tools would get stored. So your rake, your shovel, all that sort of stuff, straight in the PVC pipe.
Amazing.
Away you go.
Well, you don't think so?
Well, it worked. It's a suitable method for transporting some hand tools, as long as they don't get caught on anything low lying. Branches, car parks.
Yeah, it really depends on I suppose your vehicle as well. If you're carrying sensitive things on the trailer. We've had extremely good luck storing rakes, shovels alike tucked away in the corner of the trailer, standing up.
Yep, in a PVC pipe, no doubt.
We haven't got that far yet. It's all chained up.
Oh, there you go. There's some advancement for you. Eventually,
we'll upgrade to PVC pipes.
Yeah, if you zip tie it enough with enough zip ties, it's pretty solid.
Duct tape zip ties gets you very far.
Yeah, for sure. Did you ever try straightening the shafts on those whip snippers?
Yes, many times.
Yeah. Okay, so you got them back up and operational then?
Yes. I found school fences. Oh, similar. School fences. If you stick your whippy inside and finagle into the rails, you can get fantastic leverage to straighten them up.
Nice. Yeah, so the shaft fits straight in. I'm guessing you take the head off first and then you shove the shaft inside the school fence and straighten it.
Oh.
No?
A whipper snipper did get stuck once doing this maneuver.
So were these multi-tools or were they just dedicated whip snip?
No, these were steel FS131s. They were
so they're the ex-council 131s then, aren't they?
Oh no, we did get them brand new.
Okay.
Yes, they used up extremely quickly, and we upgraded to FS240s.
Wow, that's interesting. So,
do not buy any 131s. KM 131s, FS 131s, disgusting machines.
Yeah, I don't like the engine either. Like, they're okay if you're running full throttle cutting through really thick overgrown grass, but for daily whipping, I don't like them either.
It's a very finicky machine.
Yeah, they don't have a smooth throttle range. They tend to be all or nothing.
Heaps of vibration is what we found. We had 3 of them, all brand new, and you can try your best to keep up with maintenance, but they go kaput in 2 months.
Nothing to do with driving under a car park.
No.
So, I don't like the 131 either. I know a couple of people that love them, but I'm surprised you went up to the 240. Why not go down to the 94?
We were... Oh, well, at least what I found, even the power of the 131 was lacking. You can only run so wide of a string diameter. So we needed reliability and power. And the next step up was the 240.
So you'd be... Okay. I'm getting a good picture here. You are a true cowboy.
Thank you.
You don't run the guards on these FS240s, do you? You take guards off.
Guards come straight off. It's bonkers that they fit same size diameter guards as an FS70 on a FS240 machine.
Yeah, wow.
You've got about 3 times the power. Don't quote me, but same diameter. We take them off. We can run about 27 inches cut diameter, which is brilliant.
Whoa, yeah, that really. I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, it's just unwieldy. It's like carrying a sword around on the end of the whip snipper shaft.
It beats the Honda HOU.
In terms of cut width, yeah.
Yes. So you can sneak up to the fences. You don't damage the fences as much.
Aren't you worried about hitting your feet when it comes back around towards you?
Well, speaking of feet, we take the safety handles off as well. They get caught up.
The safety handle off the 240?
Yes, so all loop handle whipper snippers have a small 8-inch handle that pokes out.
Yeah, the little dicky shaft handle that just sticks straight out, right?
Yeah, that's right. Supposed safety feature. It comes straight off.
What? I don't get how that's a safety feature. I'm going to have to go back to Still and ask them why.
I believe it's so kickback won't bite your own feet.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've never had that come to fruition.
I'm just imagining with 27 inches of swath, you're going to hit your feet.
Well, not all the time. Yeah. More comical than anything else. So you can get a feel for the peak range of the machine and you just run with that.
Okay, so 27 inches, what's that in centimetres? That's got to be like getting close to a metre. He's looking for a tape measure. I've got Google. Let me find freaking Google. Come here. Where is it?
Yeah, most of the time we run about right under 20 inches. Yeah, so just about the size of a Honda, which is fantastic. You get a nice width from the fence, so the offside doesn't.
Okay, 27 inches is 69 centimetres.
There you go.
That's massive. So 20 inches is probably getting a little bit closer. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So say a 45 centimetre swath, which is probably normal for a still. 45 centimetres is going to be about 15, maybe more, be somewhere between 15 and 20 inches. 20 inches to centimetres comes up at 50 centimetres. Spot on. So 20 inches is only just a little bit bigger than what the safety guard's cutting it off at.
Pretty much, yes. And we've had extremely good luck. The 240 has a nice, smooth RPM range.
Yeah.
Dial it right where you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that to be true. Everyone I've heard talk about the 240 loves it. They rave about how much power it's got, smooth revs, easy to control. I still like the 94 because of the weight. So the 240, what sort of weight are we talking on the 240?
Really have to get my hands on the 94. I've heard excellent things about them.
Until you get a 35 to 40 degree day, and then they suck. Trying to start them in the heat. They are good machines. So the FS240R, which is your loop handle, 6.6 kg. So you're probably saving 100 grams when you chop that little safety handle off.
Then you add half a litre of petrol as well.
6.5 kg, somewhere around there. Yeah, 6.6 is what they standard. So yeah.
Oh, good to know. Well, you're getting a workout every time.
Yeah, so the machines I like to use are around the 5 kg mark. And then, like the FS94R is, I think, just over 5 kg. But I run a lot of battery whips now, as you probably know. And I've gone for the Husky 520 and 525, and they're around that 5 kg mark with the battery on board.
Oh, what kind of runtime do you get with battery?
Look, it varies heaps. So the Husky 520 claims up to 2.5 hours.
Oh.
I've never got that far, but I've had up to 2 hours on those.
Yes.
The 520 is really my favourite for run time, but the 525 gives you a really good combination. It's still almost the same weight, but you're more likely to get about a 40-minute run time if you're on the whip constantly.
Yeah.
And it depends how you run it. If any battery whip, if you start trying to cut 6-foot high grass, then you can get it down to 5-minute run time. Like your power consumption goes through the roof when you start tackling that really thick stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, for normal maintenance, 30 to 45-minute run time is quite normal on a single battery. So they reckon independent contractors that are just running solo, if you take between 4 and 10 batteries, you'll get through a whole day with running a whip snipper and a blower. And then obviously if you switch over to a hedge trimmer, you get better runtime. So you're not losing out by having multiple tools using your batteries. But if you got multiple people using them, then you need twice as many batteries.
Right.
But yeah, the better end is sort of like your 4 batteries for a whole day, which is that's the absolute best I've seen for an independent person on their own. But typically I hear 6 to 10 batteries is where people are hitting the sweet spot.
Yeah, gotcha. I do have a battery whip. It's not the most professional machine. It's a Makita 36-volt machine. It uses 2 batteries.
Yeah, that's a professional machine.
And we struggle to do a 600 square meter block maintenance with 2 5-amp batteries.
All right. Well, let's talk about what it is that makes your runtime on a Whipper Snipper. So the 2 things that are important. The first one we mentioned is load on the motor. If you cut 6-foot high grass, you increase your load, you can go from a 45-minute runtime down to 5 minutes. But the most important thing to know is the number of watt hours in the battery. So very simple. If you multiply the amps by the volts, that gives you watts. So your 5 amps 18-volt battery, and you've got two of those, so you double the amount of power you've got by having that. But 18 volts, sorry, and 5 amps. So it's 90 watt hours that you have in each battery, so 180 watt hours by having two of those batteries back to back.
Yes.
Right. Now, what I'm talking about with a Husky is their BLI 300 battery, which is 9.4 amps at 36 volts.
Whoa.
So it actually works out pretty similar.
Right,
I
fascinating.
think. I'm just trying to do the maths. So where is my calculator? Google will help me answer this. So if we go 9.6 times 36, 345 watt hours compared to your 180. So it's massively different, right? It's double.
Yes.
All right. So that's one of the reasons why I get a better runtime. So what do you say you're getting out of that?
About a 600 block.
So you're talking one block, and that's probably a 25, 30-minute job?
Yes.
Right. So that's not actually too bad. That's pretty good outcome to get that much runtime out of the Whipper Snipper. No, actually, that's the whole job, isn't it? So probably 15 minutes on the Whipper Snipper.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's comparable with what I understand about Makita, because I've got a Makita blower. It's a 36-volt blower, 2 5-amp batteries, and I get 12-minute runtime out of it. So it's pretty comparable. So, yeah, basically you need bigger batteries if you want to get through a decent amount of jobs, and that's where the 36-volt systems like Husky and Still and a lot of those batteries, you get up around the 250 to 350 watt hours in their battery. And, you know, you're talking so double the amount of power you've got in your Makita batteries to get a half-decent runtime. And if you do the math, so say you get 45-minute runtime out of my tool, that's going to give you, like on small properties sort of thing you're doing, up to 600 square meters, you're probably talking 5 or 6 batteries for you to get through the day. And then if you got 2 people out on the job, you might need to double that.
Right.
But that's if you're using it for everything, because people who are only using it for the whipper snipping and they've got a petrol mower, then you probably find that 4 batteries will get you through the day comfortably.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting topic. But those watt hours, the amount of watt hours that are in your batteries, that gives you the indication as to how much power you got available.
Gotcha.
Have I confused you?
Interesting you mentioned that. I did electrical engineering for about 2 years until I threw in the towel.
Okay. So you would understand exactly what we're talking about then. I was thinking I'd probably confuse you talking about watt hours, but it's like, that's right up your alley.
It is, yes. It's a brilliant subject, brilliant course to learn.
Yeah.
But when you throw in almost a full-time business, yeah, your time, everything affects the time.
A little bit hard for you to study and run the lawn mowing business at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I found myself hopping into the ute, smashing out 2-3 lawns, going to uni, and then rinse and repeat. Back to work.
Yeah, so you'd struggle to find time to study and do assignments and all that sort of thing. Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season.
That's right, and you don't want to be rocking up to uni full of sweat, dirt, mud, and
grass
bit of dog feces meshed up into the crevice of your boot.
Well, you wouldn't have anyone sit next to you when you're in class, in the lectures.
Yeah, everyone runs away from you.
Ah, boy. Yeah. It's a little bit challenging to try and manage that. At least you could fit in some night classes.
That does help, yes.
But yeah, you can appreciate that the capacity of your batteries is very directly related to, it's like filling up a glass of water or a tank of fuel. It's like, this is how much you got in your battery. If you can measure it by working out the volts and the amps, and off you go.
Yes.
So yeah, I hear people complaining all the time about, this tool gives you a really poor runtime or whatever, and I'm like, okay, find the tool that gives you the best weight to power ratio and works well for commercial work, and then if it has decent sized batteries, you can do what you need.
Lovely.
So if you go to the 40 volt Makita gear, you can get much bigger batteries.
I've heard. It's mind-boggling how far technology rolls along. You get people, DeWalt's releasing a lithium phosphate battery, which uses supposed rectangle cells instead of cylindrical cells.
Yes. So there's a number of brands that are doing the same thing now. Still has done that with their 500S batteries. So they've gone to what they call pouch cells rather than cylindrical cells. And then a couple of those tool brands like DeWalt have also gone to, they call them pouch or rectangular cells, yeah. And the weight and power of those cells is significantly improved over the cylindrical cells. So yeah, if you know what you're looking for, you can find that improvement is great because you get better weight, better power, but also your amount of charge cycles that you can manage on those cells is better as well. So typically with your older lithium batteries, they were saying about 1,000 charges and you're done.
Yeah.
And so people understand one charge is not every time you charge the battery. It is one full discharge of the battery. So if you go, say we were talking about a 300 battery before on the Husky, it's 345 watt hours of capacity in that. If you use half of it and then you recharge it, that's only half a cycle. And then when you do the same thing again, then you've added up to one cycle.
Yeah.
So most of the time people don't use 100% of the battery. So your 1,000 cycles is based on using a 100% 1,000 times. But the newer batteries like we're talking about, 3,000 to 10,000 cycles.
Okay.
So if you listen to the interview I'd put out just recently, just 3 days ago, talking to Dirk from Robot Mowers Australia. So you and I met up with Dirk at the Diesel Dirt and Turf.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he was sitting at the SME tent with all the robotic mowers there.
Okay.
And what was it? What did SME have? They had the Raymo. That's the one that Dirk sells there. So yeah, he was there. He sells robotic mowers, and he also sells Crest tools. So that's why I referred to him, because the Crest tools is relevant to what we're just talking about in terms of your batteries and the warranty Crest gives you is based on the amount of cycles you can do. So I think it's like 10 years or 3,000 cycles or something. It might be more than 3,000 cycles. Hang on. Better say this right. 5 years warranty and I think 3,000 cycles of battery use. That's pretty awesome warranty.
It is probably impressive. 3,000 cycles. Wow.
Yeah, so for people thinking about getting into battery and they're like, well, there's a lot of brands around, but Crest offers you a warranty that makes it really interesting for commercial use. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds with battery talk, which is cool. I don't mind that, but we want to learn more about you. So what other tools have you been running? And you're not just putting them in the back of your Honda Odyssey now. You're running with a trailer?
Yes, we are. We upgraded quite substantially after some Lost Whippy incident to Green Touch racks.
Ah, nice, yeah.
Yes, Andrew's a spiffing man. He hooked us up with Whippy racks, blower racks, spray racks, rake and shovel racks as well, which is fantastic. It's awesome. Zero lost whippies and zero lost blowers.
And you won't need the PVC pipe to store your rakes.
No, we don't.
So yeah, that's massive improvement. What about mowers? So you're running Honda 216 or
We have
still
216s, yes, and whippies, FS 240s,
FS 240s, yeah.
blowers, BR 800s, and BG 86s.
Yeah, okay. You haven't gone to battery blower for the handheld one yet?
We dabbled with Makita blowers for a short while.
12-minute runtime on the Makita I've got. That's not real interesting, is it?
you burn through batteries really quickly.
Yes. Yeah, I found the Ego blower is one of the best I've used, but the new Stihl BGA 250 is pretty much on par with the Ego. It's really good.
Right.
So there's some pretty good ones now, and they're handheld. I think that's blowers and hedge trimmers are one of those things where battery just makes more sense than petrol.
Yeah.
Once you get a decent tool.
Mm.
And the beauty is, if you've already got Makita batteries, a Makita hedge trimmer is one of the best you'll get.
Okay.
Do you do much hedge trimming?
We do heaps.
Yeah.
In fact, it's interesting. We have the cheapest Makita 18-volt hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
And that's the most dangerous tool.
Have you hurt yourself with it?
The offside has cut his finger off with that machine.
Cut his finger off. Ouch.
0.5 centimetre off his index finger.
Ouch. Yeah, that is so easy to do with a hedge trimmer if you're not careful.
It's
just worse than a chainsaw.
Like you throw it around, you put it down while it's still running, and accidents happen.
Yeah, I can see why you say it's the most dangerous tool you got.
Yeah, that's the only blood-soaked machine.
Do you have a chainsaw?
We do, yes.
And it's not as dangerous.
Nobody can use that except me.
Yeah, that is a really smart idea. I've said the same thing. There are people I will let use a chainsaw, but when it comes to we're on site, we're doing commercial work, you don't touch chainsaw unless you've done the training.
Mm.
So yeah, that's smart.
Essential Craftsman does have excellent YouTube videos on chainsaw safety, which I watch from time to time.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it reminds you to be on the front foot for the safety of your employees and yourself and the public.
Yeah, you don't want any more employees cutting their fingertip off.
No. Well, the Stihl battery blowers do have excellent safeties. There's about 4 safeties you need to engage before air blows out.
And a blower's the last thing you need to be worried about safety by comparison to hedge trimmers and chainsaws and lawnmowers. Yeah. So you've looked at the Stihl battery blower then?
Yes. I cannot remember the model code, but with the AP300S battery, you get pretty good runtime. Yes.
Yeah, the 300S is probably their most popular battery for our sort of use. And I think the 300S goes to the pouch cells like what you're talking about with the AEG gear.
Yeah, is it right?
I'm pretty sure the 300S and the 500S, I'll double check that. I know the 500S has, but I'm just not 100% confident with the 300S.
Yeah, the 300S does seem to have the best bang for your buck in terms of watt hours per dollars.
Unless you happen to get one of their battery redemptions, because I think they had a battery redemption recently where you got like a chainsaw with 2 batteries and a charger and they threw in another battery for free. So you're getting 3 batteries.
Okay.
That was looking pretty decent. So yeah, it's worth watching brands for their battery redemptions because it can be quite good value.
Yes.
So yeah, so you were tempted to grab the Stihl blower or you didn't pull the pin on it by the sounds of it?
No, I ended up with 4 BG86s instead.
I'm disappointed. You would have found it such good value going to their battery blower.
Right. I struggle to pull the pin on just the cost of the skin for a
Fair
battery blower.
enough. It is a big outlay when you first go into a brand with batteries like that. And I guess, like you say, you've already got the Makita batteries, so getting a couple of Makita tools is different to setting yourself up with another brand with batteries.
Yeah. We have still battery products. The chainsaw's an excellent tool, heaps of power, more power than the petrol one that we have.
Which model chainsaw you got?
MS2 something.
There's a 200 or it might be a 220. I'm not sure if they do the 220 in battery, but 200 might be it.
Yeah, right. But it is more power than the 170 chainsaw petrol.
Yeah, okay, nice. I was looking at the MSA 300. That's that caught my eye.
Yeah,
So
I do appreciate Steel's starting system with the automatic choke off feature. It's just a shame they can't implement that into the hedges and the chainsaws.
Yeah, so you get that on your blowers, I'm guessing. I'm just thinking with Steel, I've still got a couple of Whippies, and I've got the backpack blower, the BR600, which dates it. It's quite old.
Yeah.
It's time to upgrade and get an 800, I think.
Yeah, it's a brilliant machine, the 800. Immense amount of power. You can. It's probably about 8 odd blowers.
Yeah, it's very close to my next purchase, I think.
Yeah. Comfortable machine as well. They say it's the heaviest blower, but if you compare it to a backpack sprayer, it's featherweight.
Yeah, look, I find this, because I got the BR600, it's probably a little bit smaller than the 800. But when I use that, I use it for an hour at a time. And you notice it after you've had that on your back for an hour that it's got a bit of weight to it and it starts wearing your shoulders down.
Yeah.
But if you're using it for a short amount of time, it's not as bad.
Yeah, so... Oh, that's a good point. Yep.
But, if I upgrade to the 800, I probably won't need it for a full hour. It'll probably get done in half an hour.
There's heaps of talk about the Flow Zone backpack sprayers, and I've yet to lay my grubby fingers on them. But we've went through about 9 backpack sprayers.
Okay. So what ones have you tried?
I've tried 3 solo battery sprays.
Yeah. I've got a solo 10-litre one.
I've tried 1 solo manual backpack sprayer.
Yep.
Went through 3 Ryobi 18-volt backpacks.
Yep.
And went through 2 Makita 18-volt backpacks.
Yeah, so I've got a Ryobi 18-volt backpack, and they're pretty rubbish. They're not meant for commercial use, right?
No, they're not. The Ryobi has the most, I reckon, the most power that I've seen.
Really? Interesting.
The letdown is the switch. It's a twisty switch, and you use it to adjust pressure and whatnot. And something inside it just throws in the towel.
That's different to the one I've got then, because the one I've got's only got an on-off switch and then the trigger on the handle.
Okay.
So we're talking Ryobi.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's only a handheld one. It's not a backpack that I've got. Oh,
right. Mine is a backpack.
No, I think mine's like a 7-litre or something like that, handheld one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pump impeller on my one has been destroyed. So it's like, they struggle to pick up because the impeller needs a bit of suction on the pickup hose before it'll get the fluid through. And I've found that when you refill it, it just struggles for a while to get that flow going. And then once it's going, it's okay, but it's not fantastic pressure.
Right. But we stumble on to the Steel SGA 85 backpack sprayer, and that's been a beast of a machine.
Yeah, so that's a battery one.
Yes, it is. When I first took hold of it from the shop, the instruction manual was still inside the machine, and that lasted about 2 months. It disintegrated and clogged up everything inside.
That's one way to get some biodegradability happening.
So that was an expensive fix to unclog the machine and whatnot.
So that's your favourite sprayer, other than putting the manual through the pump.
Yes, it is. The battery lasts forever. 600 minutes runtime.
So what size battery? You running the 300S in that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. There's heaps of pressure. There's a pressure gauge on the handle, the squirt handle as well.
So if you're already running the 300S batteries, you should grab a BGA 250 blower.
That's an excellent proposition.
But I've used the BGA 250 and I rate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rate it.
Yeah, right.
So I think even the BGA 200 is not bad, but the 250 will keep up with other handheld blowers and blow them away. Haha.
Yeah, gotcha. How does it compare power-wise to, say, a BG86?
Better.
Better?
So, but I think they say it's comparable to a BG86, but I would say it's better than a BG86. And the runtime with the 300S battery is going to be streets ahead of your old Makita blower.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might find, say if you rely on that to get you through a day and you're not using another blower, you might want a couple of batteries.
Mm.
But how many batteries have you got in that still range?
4.
Yeah, so you've probably got enough batteries to get you through most of what you do in a day with with the current tools for that?
Probably, yes. We've only really got the spray pack and the battery chainsaws.
How often are you using your spray pack?
About six times a day. We do about 12, 15 jobs a day.
So you pretty much most days you're using your spray pack to do some spraying on the jobs?
Yeah, it's pretty much exclusively Roundup inside.
Yeah. So you're not doing a lot of selective herbicides or other things?
From time to time, yes. About springtime, we'll whip out that fancy chemical.
So bow and arrow, is that one of the ones you use?
Oh,
Not sure.
gee. I know it's poisonous. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, come back to me on that.
Okay. Yep. No worries. We won't mention too many. We might get you in trouble with the EPA.
It is a Class 7 chemical that I just got classed as.
Bromoxynil.
Yes, that's it.
Bromoxynil and MCPA. I think it might actually be the MCPA that upgraded it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they don't like us using that on residential yards anymore.
Oh, no.
That's why they upgraded it. So it's not suitable for residential home use anymore. It's only suitable for like golf courses and sports fields.
They reckon it's because there's no antidote for the poison.
Yeah, interesting.
And 200 mils of bromoxynil at whatever concentration is enough to be lethal, despite immediate medical attention.
I've just been listening to a podcast, like a true crime podcast from New Zealand, where they're talking about a unnamed poison that was used to kill somebody.
Beef Wellington.
No, not that one. This is in Kiwi land, in New Zealand. So it's an actual gardening poison. I won't name it, just in case people have any crazy ideas. But yeah, a gardening poison they used and killed somebody in New Zealand.
Oh.
So it would not be a fun way to die.
No.
Anyway, yeah, so it's important to know what you're doing with that stuff. And in New South Wales, it's a good idea to get your Chem Cert. In some states, you need to get licensed as well as do the Chem Cert.
Okay.
In New South Wales, it's recommended with the sort of work you or I do, Chem Cert. And so recommended is an interesting word. Required if you are doing more than 5 litres of concentrate through your machine in any given day, or 20 litres of mixed product.
Right.
So if you're filling up your backpack more than once, then technically you are required to do your Chem Cert.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, good to know.
Yeah. So that's New South Wales. Check for people listening, check the requirements for your own state. Yeah, I was talking to somebody from WA the other day, and they were saying they have to be licensed, not just trained.
Oh, right.
Whereas in New South Wales, licensing is kept for people who are running commercial spray rigs and doing all they do is spraying. So mixing up thousands of litres a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting. So what do you say the sprayer is you're using? It's still
SGA 85.
SGA 85. I'm going to have to look that one up now. I'm running a Bushranger backpack sprayer as well as the Solo 10-litre sprayer.
Right.
And like I said, I've got the Ryobi sprayer as well, but I don't rate that. That's not for us. But the Solo 10-litre sprayer is good for spot spraying. The Bushranger 16-litre backpack I find is quite good for doing larger areas.
Mm.
But I'm contemplating going to a trolley-style sprayer that'll carry, say, 40 to 60 litres. I've got a 100-litre sprayer that goes on the lawnmower. I don't use it, though. And I'm probably going to send that to Tassie for my brother.
Awesome. Oh, from what I've noticed around Fairfield, the council exclusively uses the trolley sprayer that you mentioned.
Yeah. So trolley sprayers, you can get a wand, which is probably what's on the end of your backpack, but you can also do a boom spray off a trolley sprayer if they're set up well. So that's where a lot of the turf specialists. I interviewed Darren from Hunter Lawn Care Supplies, and he actually helped develop one of the trolley sprayers for doing bowling greens.
Mm.
So that's where my interest goes. It's like, okay, you start doing professional turf applications, and a trolley sprayer is going to give you the quantities you need for doing the size lawns you do reasonably efficiently.
Right. And it will it does make sense from a safety standpoint. You want the least amount of weight on your back.
Yeah, it also gets the cross spray a little bit further away from your body.
Yes.
Yeah. And I believe they're still going to be battery-powered sprayers in most of your trolleys.
Mm.
You might get to a petrol pump on some of them, maybe. Yeah, okay. What other interesting tools you got? Have you looked at going into ride-on mowing?
We have. Spoke to the boys from Skag during the Diesel Turf Expo. I believe there was Chris, Ben, an Englishman, and then Duncan.
Andrew Trifford was one of the guys there.
Oh,
so
right.
Ben Brown, Andrew Trifford. I'm not sure about Chris. I think I did meet him, but if you went back on the Saturday or the Sunday, I'm just trying to think, it might have been the Sunday, Duncan was there as well, the owner of International Mowers.
Colin was there, that's right.
That's it, Colin, yeah, he was there when I was there.
Yep, and the Skag colours mesmerising. It's same as my shirt.
It matched your shirt, yep.
It's no-brainer.
Yeah, okay. So
I am into it. The Skag 32 piques my interest most.
Yeah. So a 32-inch stand-on is going to be really efficient for those yards that are sort of up around that 600 square metre size property. On the really small properties, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you're up around those sizes, which Fairfield, you're doing a lot of those.
Yep.
Yeah. As long as it's not as soggy as it has been the last month or so in New South Wales, the ground gets so soft that a small stand-on like that's just going to make ruts or get bogged. I've had my small stand-on sitting there doing nothing almost for the last month just because it's so boggy.
Yeah. For a bit of comedy, did fetch a Cox tractor mower.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a Cox?
It's a tractor mower. It's a brilliant machine.
Yeah.
Very reliable. It's got a Honda motor from 1985.
Oh, wow. So it's an older Cox then?
Yes. You've probably seen a picture of it somewhere with a flashing light on top.
Oh, I do remember seeing that now, yes. Yes, I think I saw that sitting on a roadside that you were playing in the mud with it. Good value. So you find that's good value. It's got good power for the size. What is that? A 35-inch deck on the Cox?
Probably. Haven't measured it.
I think that sounds vaguely like it's going to be close to the 35-inch. Might be smaller.
Okay.
I think some of those tractor mowers are running around a 30-inch.
Yeah, right.
But you'd know it if you can fit it through your tight gates. Then it's probably a 30.
Yeah.
But that's somebody else I know is running 35. I just think it might be a zero turn though.
Okay. This is probably a 35.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And have you put it through long grass?
No. I've only used it to crawl around in the mud and push off the ute.
Okay. So you must have got it fairly recently then.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to use it for work. It looks unprofessional.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's too rusty.
So going to a 32-inch stand-on for work is going to be a lot easier for you to have your professional image.
That's right.
Do professional quality work. Get a Catch Pro on the side of it.
Indeed. Some flashing lights as well.
Well, you need more than one then, right? Need more than one flashing light on that machine.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to get a beacon light on that. I don't think that'll work too well.
Well, see, the one they had at the show, that had LED flashes on it.
Yeah.
And you're not keen on the LEDs, are you?
No, I'm not.
You want your halogen. Yeah, you could have trouble getting a halogen flasher on that.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, we'll be standing waving orange flags around.
Yeah. Okay. What was I thinking? So 32-inch stand-on your trailer, you'll be able to knock over those residential yards a lot quicker than what you're doing with the push mower, the 21-inch mower.
Yeah, I've heard heaps of positive things with tight access and efficiency with all this standard type mowers.
That's what I was going to ask you. So with your walk behind, your self-propelled Hondas, and that's what you're using at the moment, are you catching most of the grass or do you prefer mulching?
We catch pretty much everything besides larger strata jobs. We'll just mulch.
Okay, fair enough. We could get into the whole debate, but I think what you've highlighted there is that there is a place for both.
I think so, yes. It's much cleaner with
the catcher.
With the catcher, yes. And we have the facilities to take the waste away when the client doesn't have a green bin or is too fussy and doesn't want to dirty their green bin.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, I've gone the opposite direction to you. Like most of my work is mulching, and then if people want it caught, then they pay a little bit of a premium. But I do catching as well. I've got a Catch Pro on my little stand-on, and that does a great job.
Yeah.
It comes up nice and tidy when you use the Catch Pro.
With waste, we've gotten immensely lucky. We service a small townhouse close by, and they've got about 9 green bins.
Okay.
Tucks away in a corner. Well, get on the blower to the landlord, and she goes, fine, help yourself.
Yeah.
So we've got 9 green bins to play with on a fortnight.
Yeah, so you'll take your waste from other properties back to that area there, dump the waste into the green bins there, and off you go again. That's
right, yeah. Well, we'll have to ferry the bins back every fortnight to the townhouse to get collected, but
okay,
that works excellent for us.
Nice. That's great value.
It is. It's free.
So do you end up taking waste to the tip every now and then, or is it, like, I'm guessing if you do big cleanups, you probably need to?
Yes, we would, but we don't have a commercial tip that's close by in Fairfield.
Yeah.
We do have a council tip, which only opens on Saturday, but it's heavily, heavily discounted, which is fantastic.
Yeah, okay. So if you build up a couple of loads in your trailer, you take it out on the Saturday and do it through the local one. Easy.
That's right, yes.
Nice. Oh, that's great. So, look, one of the things I'd like to highlight here, look, we've covered some entertaining ideas and bit of humor, bit of fun, bit of cowboy moves, but people that are in business, some people might turn their nose up and go, oh, "You're a complete cowboy and never want to be like you." Most people starting a lawn care business, myself included, have done a lot of things the same as you. Whether we keep on doing those cowboy moves or whether we go, yeah, no, I want to aim for being as professional as possible. It sounds much the same for you. You have reviewed what you do and you're okay, I want to come across as professional. So I'm not going to act like a cowboy. I'm going to make sure the customers see a professional image coming through.
Yes. It's interesting to have the amount of incidents that we do. And yeah, it boils down to me. I'm a slow learner. And
aren't we all?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, everyone has different ideas of their clients' expectations and whatnot. And we found what has worked best for our area was to stand apart and be professional.
Yeah.
Despite what happens behind the scenes, we try and present a professional image to the client. So we've got nicely marked cars. We like to have new equipment, clean equipment, and nice uniforms.
Yeah, okay. So, and you've got yourself and a team of people working with you. You got a couple of casuals that work with you.
I've got 2 casuals that work with me. We balance about 2 days for one guy and 3 days for the other guy, and that's all year round.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. So
and it helps to have 2 people in case one breaks the leg, God forbid, or something.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're one person down, you can still get most of the work done quite well.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty cool. Sounds like making sure the customers see your professional quality of work and the professional side of your business is pretty important.
Yeah, your work has to reflect yourself and what you value. Yeah. So provide good quality work and it speaks for itself. The clients are happy. You have to build rapport with them, build a solid friendship, and they'll speak the business to their friends, family, and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. So, look, I think we've covered a fairly good picture of what your business looks like and where you're up to. What's the future look like for Bachio?
The future is up in the air, but we certainly want to achieve more work. So that would probably mean more employees and better equipment, more efficient equipment.
So I'm guessing continuing your electrical engineering is not on the cards.
No, that's
out.
Long gone.
So building the business. Now, in terms of building the professional image, are you going to ditch the BA Falcon?
Yes, but not in the tragic way that off to the scrapyard. Yeah, I wouldn't let my employees drive any of my Falcons.
Yeah, okay.
I've got four utes. No one touches them except me. It's half of them don't have ABS brakes. And we would keep up on all the service, but it wouldn't be best interest to let someone drive an old car, and if an accident happens, that's on you. So a new car's coming up.
Okay.
That would be for the employee. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, okay. So that's in the near future then, looking at a newer car that employees can drive?
Something with autonomous braking and something with ABS braking, traction control, airbags.
Yep. Fair enough. Okay. Have you thought about going down the path of using a van instead of a ute so you can fit a lot of stuff in the back? Nope.
It has crossed my mind, but probably not.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you're probably going to find utes a little bit easier to find in terms of the quality of vehicle you're looking for.
Yes, I suppose if I do ever get my hands onto a van, it might change my idea. But you have so much access with a ute. You have 3 sides of access. You can pile stuff as high as you want. 4.2 meters from, I think, New South Wales law. Yeah, and
yes.
yeah, security is an issue, but yeah, you got to balance that with storage and whatnot.
Yeah, fair enough. A ute with a trailer is good option if your streets are suitable for towing a trailer. So I know more you go towards the city, the more a trailerless setup is appealing.
So we definitely might be looking into a single vehicle setup.
Yeah.
And that'll be immensely helpful around doing U-turns around cul-de-sacs and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. So growing the business, more employees, different vehicles, 32-inch stand-on. Sounds like there's a lot of growth in the future.
Big plans, yes.
Yeah. We might have to check back in with you in a couple of years then and see how that's going. So I guess the other thing that's worth touching on there, the hedge trimming that you do. You said you do a fair bit of hedge trimming.
Indeed.
Yeah. So does that help you to chase higher paying jobs? Is it worth, like with the hedge trimming work, sort of focusing on high-end customers?
That's certainly an open door to chase. We're still finessing our skills with the hedge trimmer.
Yeah, fair enough. And then, all these things are things which people have to consider as they grow and work out what they want to specialise in and what they want their business to be known for.
That's right. Certainly, Emil
Montaliba?
Yes, that's right.
Yep,
Gorilla. He calls himself the topiary connoisseur. Something along those lines.
Yep.
And it's fantastic watching his quality of work.
Yes.
And the clients that appreciate that type of work.
Yeah, I think between him and 2 or 3 other guys in Sydney that do a lot of hedge trimming, it's amazing to see the quality of work they put out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's certainly room for businesses that want to focus on high-end customers, whether it be hedge trimming or doing a lot of lawn treatment plans and packages, all those sorts of things that can push you towards customers that want their yard to be the envy of all of their neighbours.
Certainly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, look, it's been fun talking to you, Bachio. I want to say thanks for coming into the dungeon and sharing a bit of insight into your business.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Gary.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.